भवतु सहनो भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। हरि ओम। Ashtavakra Gita says, who is a gnani? He says, a gnani is one who is noble laureate in laziness. Alasasya dhurinaha. A noble laureate in laziness. Why is it so? Because a gnani realizes there is nothing to do in this world. Whatever you do, joy, the moment you enjoy them, they have their repercussions leading you to sorrow. Because the very reason you enjoyed them, you want them again. That expectation, fear of years go, your taste for those things have increased, your capacity has reduced. Naraka. So this praying, doing, working for a joyous life is a myth. Yeah, you can have some comforts. There's no doubt in that. Because people can weep without comforts, you can weep with comforts. Therefore, there is no system in this world whereby you will always do right, you will never do wrong. There's never a time when you will not do anything wrong, or you will always do right. Why is that? Your vasanas, others' vasanas, need certain experiences. Those experiences make things happen. You have no control. Do you have control over what you dream? Several things happen in the dream. Several things happen in the dream. You have no control. Same thing in the waking world. You have no control to do good, to do bad. You can't stop them. Then how are you going to be happy? Because if you do wrong, you will be punished. If you do good, you will be rewarded. And Since all the time you can't do good, how are you going to be happy? All the time you can't also be doing wrong. Therefore, it is an unintelligent man who struggles to be perfect in this world. This is, fortunately today, I find, is a theme in the management. They are all talking about this. Wanting perfection is a problem. They are saying this. In the imperfect world, where you can have perfection? World is imperfect. The object, the doer is imperfect. His expectations are imperfect. His reactions are imperfect. What stupid thing you are expecting in this world for something permanent, happiness, joy, even good name, bad name, do you have a control? Krishna got bad name. By whom? Not ordinary bad name. Somebody who is dearest to him. Nobody more dearer than that. Balarama thinks Krishna is lying with him and he is keeping the Shamantaka money with him. Do you need something worse than that? Do you need something worse than that for you? Somebody whom you love most thinks that you are a liar and you are a fraud. That's what exactly Balaram thought. So says Krishna. Krishna நம்ப முடியாது, அவர் போய் சொன்னாலும் சொல்லுவாரு. ஆனா சொல்றாரு பாகவதத்துல, அக்ரூரர்கிட்ட, எங்க அண்ணா என்ன நம்ப மாட்டேன்றாருப்பா, நீ காட்டு. அவரால் தப்பிக்க முடியல. நம்ம ராமர் பாவம், குழந்தை சுபாவம் அவருக்கு, அவரு ஏத்துன்னு கெட்ட பேரு. அவர் ஒத்தரையும் ஹர்ட் பண்ண முடியாது அவரால். He cannot stand anybody suffering. A child means a child. அவருக்கு எவ்வளவு கெட்ட பேரு. நீங்களும் நானும் எங்க தப்பிக்க போறோம்? கெட்ட பேரு தப்பிக்க முடியாது, கெட்டது பண்றது தப்பிக்க முடியாது. அதனால கெட்ட ரிசல்ட்ஸ் வந்தா சஃபர் பண்றது தப்பிக்க முடியாது. இப்படி எல்லாம் இருக்கிறச்ச நீங்க என்ன எதிர்பார்க்குறீங்க இந்த உலகத்துல? டெய்லிக்கு மார்னிங் டில் நைட் ஸ்ட்ரகிள் ஸ்ட்ரகிள் ஸ்ட்ரகிள். நிறைய பேருக்கு அங்கிளுக்கு மெசேஜ் பண்றது கூட டைம் இல்லை. போன் பண்ண வேணாம், மெசேஜ் பண்ணலாம் இல்ல. ஒரு ஃபார்வர்ட் பண்ண முடியல. சந்தியா வீக்லி டைப் பண்றாங்கல்ல கிளாஸுக்கு. போன கிளாஸ் நான் சொன்னேன், நீ ரொம்ப நல்லா எழுதுறீங்க, இனிமே ஏன் அப்ரூவல் வேணாம்னு. உடனே எனக்கு அமைக்கிறது அமிச்சா நான் படிப்பேன் இல்ல. She need not send it me for approval, but I enjoy reading it. சாக்கு சின்னது கிடைச்சா போறோம். இந்த உலகத்துல இப்படி இருக்கிற ரிலேஷன்ஷிப்ஸ் எல்லாமே இதை நம்பிக்கிட்டு என்னையா நீங்க எதிர்பார்க்கிறீங்க? இதை நம்பிக்கிட்டு என்ன எதிர்பார்க்கிறீங்க? ஆந்திரா மினிஸ்டர் இன்னைக்கு 50 வயசு, ஜனகணமனா, ஹார்ட் அட்டாக், 50 years. See the impact his family as a minister when he goes. இவ்வளவுதான் நம்ம லைஃப். ஒரு செகண்ட், நெக்ஸ்ட் மினிட் நான் பேசுறேன்னா அது பகவானுடைய அனுகிரகம். நெக்ஸ்ட் மினிட், not next day. Next minute, if I am talking, it is his purpose. You are wasting your time. அதனால தான் பியூட்டிஃபுல்லா கத்தோபனிஷத்துல என்னடா வேணும்னா, இது எல்லாம் தான் தலைவலி, இதெல்லாம் இல்லாம ஃப்ரீயா இருக்க முடியுமா? Anyatra dharmat, anyatra adharmat, anyatra bhutat, anyatra bhavishyat, anyatya krutat, anyatya akrutat. காசு, எஃபெக்ட், பண்ணது பண்ணாதது, தர்மம் அதர்மம், இதுல எல்லாம் இந்த விடுபடி எண்ணிக்கையா கிடைக்கும்னு கேட்கிறாரு அவர். நச்சிகேதஸ் கேட்கிறாரு, இதெல்லாம் வச்சுக்கிட்டு தானே நீ ஆட்டி படுக்கிற யம தர்மராஜா கிட்ட. தர்மம் அதர்மம், காசு, எஃபெக்ட், பாஸ்ட் ஃபியூச்சர், இதெல்லாம் வச்சுக்கிட்டு தானே நீ எங்களை பட வைக்கிற. எங்களுக்கு எண்ணிக்கையா இதுல இருந்து விமுக்தி கிடைக்கும் அப்படின்னு கேட்கிறாரு. புரியுதுங்களா? நீங்க எல்லாம் ஃப்ரீ ஆயிட்டீங்களா இதுல இருந்து எல்லாரும்? அப்படி இருந்தா எனக்கு கொஞ்சம் நைட்டு கிளாஸ் முடிஞ்சத எனக்கு ஒரு 10 minutes கேப்பை கொடுத்துட்டு எனக்கு கிளாஸ் எடுங்க யாராவது அப்படி ஃப்ரீ ஆயிட்டு இருந்தா. நான் பேசுறது இந்த சப்ஜெக்ட்ஸ் எல்லாம் எனக்காக நான் யோசிச்சது தான் உங்களுக்கு பேசுறேன். ஐ எம் நாட் டாக்கிங் as a subject. The way in which I try to use these thoughts for my life. You understand? Because it so happened today I have unnecessarily killed an ant. So mind was little upset. அப்பதான் இந்த தாட்ஸ் எல்லாம் வந்தது. இதெல்லாம் நிறுத்த முடியுமா? இதெல்லாம் நடந்துகிட்டு தான் இருக்கும். பனிஷ்மெண்ட் வரட்டும். பனிஷ்மெண்ட் வர்றச்சு அவன் கூட இருக்கான். அவன் கூட இருச்ச உனக்கு என்னையா ப்ராப்ளம்? நீ பனிஷ்மெண்ட் வரட்டும், நீ சஃபர் பண்ணட்டும், நீ பேசுறச்சே உயிர் போயிட்டும், இல்லை இன்னொரு 10 வருஷம் இருந்த மிச்ச பேர் பிராரப்தம் சஃபர் பண்ண வைக்கியே. என்ன இருந்தாலும் எப்பவுமே அவன் இருக்கா இல்ல கூட, அவன் இருக்கிறச்ச உனக்கு என்னையா குறை? அவன் இருக்கிறச்ச என்ன குறை? நீ பாவம் பண்ணாலும், நீ புண்ணியம் பண்ணாலும், நீ நல்லவரா இருந்தாலும், நீ சாரி, there may be somebody who don't know Tamil, but when I get emotional I talk in Tamil. Whether you do good, whether you do bad, right? Whether you suffer, whether you don't suffer, whether you are in the body or not in the body, whether you are a sinner or a saint, that Lord never leaves you. What more do you want? What more do you want? Suffer, but hold on to Him. Suffering is the body. When you hold on to Him, in that joy, this pales into insignificance. Therefore, haste bhi kaho Ram Ram, rote bhi kaho Ram Ram. Right? You don't have control over anything outside. You don't have control over dharma or adharma. You don't have control over suffering or happiness. You have control only on one thing: to recognize His presence in you, His love for you. Be grateful and hold on to Him. If you have understood this, your attending further classes is a waste. What is there in this? I am only telling don't do anything. I am only telling don't do anything. That's what I started with. Alasasya dhurinaha. Doctorate in laziness. So simple, this truth. If anybody wants to challenge me, please challenge. Nobody can challenge because these are all my own thinking for my own life. So they are from my experiences. So you cannot challenge me. They are not from the books. Of course, through the books only we get into all these. Further what? You don't even have to pray to God. Actually, when you pray, you are insulting Him. But I also pray. I will tell you that later on. Taittiriya Upanishad itself says you must pray. Taittiriya Upanishad itself says you must pray. Pray for what? Taittiriya Upanishad says pray for wealth, pray for name, pray for wife. right? He asks you to pray. And here I am telling, while talking on Taittiriya Upanishad, you don't have to pray. That's not now. When you come to a stage, you believe that he loves you maximum. He doesn't depend upon your prayer to do anything to you. He never leaves you. When that conviction is strong, he is with me. He loves me. He will not leave me. Death or life, suffering or joy, he is with me. What am I to pray? When that conviction comes, then you don't have to pray. Because that conviction is surrender, total surrender. Total surrender, recognizing him and him only. After that, what you have to do? You have to deserve his love. To deserve his love, see him in all and love all. To deserve his love, try to be consciously not bad. Because such a lovely Lord loves you. How can you be cheap? How can you be vulgar? How can you be, with vengeance, greed, anger, jealousy? That lovely Lord loves you. You have to deserve him. You have to deserve him. This is for your dignity, not as a prayer for him. Your dignity. Your dignity. Recognize him alone everywhere. Nothing other than him. You are peaceful. You are happy. The moment you know in your suffering, he is with me. The impact of suffering has gone. The moment your thought of death comes to you, because it should be natural for people at 82, right? The thought comes to you. You just think, so what? He is with me. He is with me. This one thought is enough. You don't need anything else. So simple is Vedanta. But how many people are willing to listen to this? They have come to your house, sat 3 hours telling all their stories and weeping with you. And you have told them, come to class today, half an hour, you will be happy. Oh, time, where is time for me? I have this problem, I have that problem. He's like a man blindfolded and left in a forest, runs hither and thither. Somebody asks, where are you going? I want to go home. It is before it's too late. Somebody brought me blindfolded, left me. Okay, remove that kerchief or never this thing. No, I have no time. I have no time. That's what these people say. Oh, you have so much, where I can come. Suffer. So, firstly, you tell them they don't come. In case they come, they don't listen to me. They start judging me. My looks, my mannerisms, my language. They spend their time on that, not to listen to me. In case they listen also, they start comparing. In the Swami, this Swami, that Swami, right? And in case something goes into them, they have got a ready-made, beautiful excuse. These are all for great people, Punyatmas. This is not for us. Easy way to escape. This is all for Punyatmas. Who is a Punyatma? Who is a Papatma? Whoever thinks he has to do Punya, he's got ego. He is not a Punyatma. Whoever wants to avoid Papa, he has got ego. One who goes beyond Punya and Papa is the person who doesn't do any sin. Because both belong to the ego. Both belong to the ego. So, such a simple thing, people are not willing to listen. Why? Their mind is preoccupied with several things. To tell them God alone is there and take them to beach and say, see this wave? You see it born? You see it is dying? Do you see the water in that? Is the water born? Is the water dying? The same water is in the ocean. The same water is in the bubble. You are talking like a madman. That man is looking this side, Pani Puri stalls in the beach. You are talking like a mad fellow. He is looking at that. How will things go into his head? How will you save him? God himself said, I cannot do. God said, I can't save anybody. Nadatte kasachit papam nachaiva sukritam vibhu ajnanena avrutam jantuhu. என்னால் ஒன்றும் பண்ண முடியாது. He himself have hands up. Right? So what do you do to that man? Someday he will come to you with a lot of problems. Don't tell him all this philosophy because he is not willing to listen. You just tell him, you tell this mantra continuously for this many days, this many times, your problems will go. He will start doing it at least for some time. And then, because he is doing that, his mind becomes peaceful. There is clarity. He sees answers. And he works. Problems get solved. He thinks he got it from the mantra. Then slowly you tell him, sit and do japa daily. After that, you tell him, let's go to temple. Take him to temple. Like that, gradually you have to take him. That is where Upasana comes. You ask me, why so much introduction for Upasana? Why are you asking me? Taittiriya Upanishad 40% is Upasana. 40% is Upasana. What is Upasana? To lift your mind from our egocentric perception of things to something greater and higher, so that from that height you will see all our challenges and problems are insignificant. That is Upasana. Asana, sitting, Upaneya. That is Upasana. So in this Upasana, there are various things. Krishna, Rama, Taittiriya says, I will do it in detail. Today's Upasana, because there is a very interesting point. You take the same clay. Out of that, make Rama, make Sita, make Lakshmana, make Hanuman. After you made them, do you see clay there? You see only Rama, Sita, Lakshmana, Hanuman. Same clay. And you say, by chance you forgot to give Arati to Hanuman. You feel guilty. Same clay sitting, all are sitting there, you just forgot. Because you after that you don't think it is clay. Because the clay in your head has been taken off. That is called Upasana. Nikrusta Vastuni, Utkrusta Darshanam. Lift your mind to greater heights, to have a clearer vision of all that you are today having erroneous perceptions. And here I simplified. I said, out of the clay you make Krishna, Rama and all that. But do you know, you cannot make out of clay. It has to be, that moisture, that making it all has to be at a particular level. After that, you need an artistic mind to do that. After that, painting, mixing of colors, choice of colors, choice of clay. There are details. You cannot miss any detail. You cannot miss any detail. So what happens? This fellow becomes alert, vigilant, detached, focused. That is what is Upasana. Take care of all that you are doing. Detach from the ego. Lift it to God. At every stage, be careful, be vigilant. Normally, you chant and you say, this is Savarna Dirgha Sandhi. This is Yen Sandhi. That is Un Sandhi. Guna Sandhi. Right? All that you will be going on telling. Normally, you don't see importance. Here it is divinized. That very Sandhi is divinized. So you will be conscious. When you are sitting in your hall or even in the veranda, you are seeing at the sky, you are seeing at the sun, you are seeing at the moon, you are seeing at the garden. Nothing you are enjoying. You are seeing all this only to escape the other man talking. Nothing you are enjoying. Mind wanders everywhere. Now when the mind wanders, through this Upasana, it starts divinizing whatever it sees. Because the Upasana is that. Everything has God. Mind anyway wanders, but in that it sees God. Number one. Number two, mind will wander without a direction. Through Upasana, allowing the mind to wander in a particular direction like a cow tied down to a peg. It has no total freedom. It can move within the circumference as much as the rope allows it. That much freedom it has. So also in Upasana, when you are trying to think of the Adilokams and Adijautishams and all that, within that your mind will wander. You can't stop it completely. You allow it to wander, but give it a periphery. Give it a direction. So gradually you are teaching yourself the art of bringing the mind to focus. Because the highest of Vedanta is Abhyasa Vairagya. Vairagya to detach, Abhyasa to attach. Gurudev says attach and detach. So to detach you have to learn first. You cannot detach. Somebody comes to you, don't worry about all this, detach. He doesn't understand what detachment is. He cannot understand what detachment is. Because in fact, he never leaves his attaching. Right? So, gradually you have to make him detach through these exercises. When you do puja, when you do this thing, your mind is temporarily detached. That's why you have to do puja. In the beginning, I said you don't have to do. But I qualified when you don't have to do. When you recognize everything is He, what puja to whom? And why does He need your puja? He is so big. But you can't leave now. You have to recognize Him everywhere, every minute, every second. He alone. Till then you have to do. Till then you have to do. Otherwise you will depend on false things. Your mind will depend on false things. Your mind to depend on the right thing. Always tune to Him. Pray to Him. Right? So that is why Upasana. But in the olden days, the Gurukula system, they will leave the children there. They will leave the children there at the age of 5. Till he gets the marriage age, he is there. About to get married, he is given all instructions how he should live a grihastha life. All that will come in Taittiriya Upanishad. All the instructions how you should live a grihastha life, all are given and told. Now you have the freedom. There are 2 roads here. One is Nivritti Marga. If you are prepared, go to Nivritti Marga. If you are not prepared, to prepare yourself to Nivritti Marga, go to the Pravritti Marga. So both are holy. Both are holy. Marriage has nothing to do with your physical relationships. Though everybody has it, but the institution of marriage divinizes that. Divinizes that. You have to marry not only to sublimate yourself, but you have to give also an opportunity for another soul to evolve. So getting children is the main purpose of marriage. There is a joke. Some lady went to Gurudev and said, I don't want to get married. He said, if all people don't want to get married, how will you get Rama and Lakshmana? That lady replied, Swamiji, you are right. But what happens if I get a Ravana and Kumbhakarna? Ravana and Kumbhakarna are more dearer to Rama than anybody else. That's why Rama took the avatar. They are his gatekeepers. He sent them and said, don't worry, I will come and take you back. So don't underestimate Ravana and Kumbhakarna. They are too close and dear to Rama. Right? So therefore, the institution of marriage, bringing up children, all are divinized. That's all made Upasana. They are coming. All that I am telling now, I am finishing the first chapter. After that, I have to only rush through the slokas. Because if I do the slokas and explain, it's at intellectual level. It's only information. You have to know how it helps in your life. Otherwise, read Taittiriya, first chapter is not interesting. After that, very interesting, when it comes to Brahmanandavalli, Bhruguvalli and all that. Right? But this is the purpose. Now you will know the beauty of it. So when they are left there, they have about 12 years, 11, 12 years there. So there is no hurry. So for them, first to learn to concentrate, focus, they tell you, these are the fundamentals. You know, phonetics. They start with phonetics. Right? Varna, Swaraha, Matra, Balam, all that they will tell. Gradually, then you know they are sitting there in the classroom, they see the eyes are going to the sky and all that. Then they bring Adilokas. Gradually it goes. Then the time comes when the 7th year or 8th year, Upanayanam is done. Then they make them do Upasana and Bhurbhuva Swaha and Gayatri, Tat Saviturvarenyam and all that. And after that, or in between also, because they will be impatient if you go on talking grammar only. You need some literature. So in between, they throw some interesting things about Brahman, about what you should pray, what they like, what you should pray, what you should request, what is Brahman, how will you enjoy it. All that in between also they will throw. Again, they will pick up Shiksha. Then all that is done, they make you realize that that is the highest. They give you quantum, qualitative, vague perception through some numbers which are not really true of Ananda Mimamsa. And then how to negate and assert Bhriguvalli. Ito va imani bhutan jayante. He goes on negating one by one. Annamaya kosha, pranamaya kosha, manam. He negates and finally he is stuck with the Ananda. So that book is complete. In between, when they leave for the house, they say, you should do all this. But along with all that, you should also do Swadhyaya and Pravachana. Do all that. But with that, Swadhyaya, Pravachana, don't ignore. I completed Taittiriya Upanishad. Now let me take the verses, sloka. First, Shanti part. Om Shanno Mitrasham Varunaha Shanno Bhavat Varyama Shanna Indro Bruhaspatihi Shanno Vishnu Rukramaha Namo Brahmane Namaste Vayo Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahmasi Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahma Vadishyami Rutam Vadishyami Satyam Vadishyami Tan Mamavatu Tad Vaktaramavatu Avatu Mam Avatu Vaktaram Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. This is the Shanti part here. And also the first Anuvaka itself is the same mantra. See, the Shanti parts again are not pure prayers. Prayers are also two types. One, praying, oh God, give me this, give me that. And they make God a very bad businessman. Oh God, give me 1 crore, I will give you 20 lakhs. Why should he give you 1 crore and take 20 lakhs from you? Is he such a bad businessman? Right? That type of prayer. Then disease curing, children, that is another prayer. Then prayer, which is coming Taittiriya Upanishad, please take care of all these things because I need all these things to lead a spiritual life. That's another prayer. Here, Shanti part, you are asking God to provide the necessary help for you to do sadhana. These prayers are not asking God a permanent solution because they know there is no permanent solution in the world. The permanent solution is only through knowledge. And knowledge has to be known by you. God cannot give. Any prayer, any solution you pray to God is only to ward off obstructions at that time. To ward off obstructions, to create an environment. Even that does he need? No. But you mentally prepare for that. You mentally, this is why I've been told even when I was a student, 15 years, 16, somebody told me, just don't start writing the moment question paper is given, 1 minute to pray. You know why? When you pray, your mind is brought from all distractions to your focus. When you pray, your mind is brought from all distractions to focus. Therefore, before exam, close the eyes. Even if you are an atheist, 1 minute, close the eyes and pray. Similarly here, you need all these things. So you give yourself, because the God is in you. I want to do this now. Please help me in all this. You only is the God. You are only deciding. You are only invoking. When the Subheksha comes, whatever you have ichcha, he says tadastu. He knows only one word because he doesn't speak. He has no mouth. But tadastu is one word he knows. Whatever you want, he says yes. So when you have the desire to do spiritual sadhana, you don't even have to ask, but if for your satisfaction you ask, it's all provided for sadhana. And that is the purpose of Shanti Path. That is during my sadhana, during my class time, during my meditation, please ward off all obstructions. That's all. It's not for a permanent this thing. Because permanent thing cannot be given, because in the finite world, where are permanent solutions? Number one, it cannot be given. Number two, you do need problems for your own evolution. You do need. So there are no permanent solutions. And how permanent solution? The husband and wife have altered their gender to take revenge on each other. Huh? So how are permanent solutions? You need it. You need it. There are no permanent solutions. So here, Shanno Mitraha, these are all the various deities. Sham Varunaha, Shanno Bhavatva Aryamam, Shanna Indro Bruhaspatihi, Shanno Vishnu Rurukramaha, Namo Brahmane Namaste Vayoho, Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahmasi, Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahma Vadishyami, Rutam Vadishyami, Satyam Vadishyami, Tanmamavatu, Tad Bhaktaramavatu, Avatu Mam, Avatu Bhaktaram, Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Here only two things I'll explain. This Rutam and Satyam. Rutam are the truths enshrined in the Vedas. Satyam, the same truths applicable to life. Rutam are the truths enshrined in the Vedas. Satyam, this Rutam applicable to life is called Satyam. That is one thing you have to understand. Next three Shantis. No obstacles from sources unknown. Adidaivam. No thunders, no rain. Adidaivam. Then Adibhautikam. No disturbance from neighbors or anybody in the house. Then Adhyatmam. I should not get a right time migraine. Right? Or cough. Or net failure. So, this is all Adhyatmam. I should not get these troubles. These are why three Shantis. That's why three grades. Unknown, distant gods. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Understand? That is the Shanti part. And now, three Vallis I told you. Valli is a creeper. A creeper that goes up through a support. The support is the Upanishad, the theme, Brahman. The creepers are the various thoughts that go through. First is Shikshavalli. Second is Brahmanandavalli. Third is Bhruguvalli. The speciality of Taittiriya is he first time brings out the evolution of the universe through the 5 elements. Tattvabodhi's source is Taittiriya Upanishad. One of the source. Of course, very clearly is given in Bhagavad. Any Upanishad, any serious doubt you have, it is there very clearly in a simple way in Bhagavatam. All doubts clear. Highest doubts. Right? So, that is this thing there. Why? 5 elements? Just to make you realize they are also God. That's all the purpose. They are also God. And then last, the same 5 minutes are used differently. Because he says, what is God? Yato va yamani bhutana jayanti yena jatana jivanti, from which everything has come up and which everything lives, into which everything goes back. So then he asks the Guru, what is that? He says, go and contemplate. Because if you say the answer, you got it intellectually, you think that is all. You formed a concept, nothing happens. It's a concept. You go and meditate, it's not a concept, you will feel it in you. So when he says, Annam must be the thing from which everything comes, because everybody comes from Annam, grows through Annam, becomes Annam for the Puchis when he dies. So it's all Annam. But he is not satisfied because the Annam cannot be Brahman. He goes to the teacher again and says, this is what I found. Teacher says, again go and meditate. He says prana, mana, right? Buddhi, if somebody has. Then finally he says, Ananda, Anandamaya. So that is where the same 5 elements and the same 5 koshas lead you to Brahman. Manana. Manana is done in the very reading of the book. These are the 3 vallis. Now Siksha valli, let us see. Om Shiksham Vyakhyasyaamaha Varnaswaraha Matra Balam Samas Santanaha Ityuktaksha Sikshadhyayaha. Now let us expound the signs of pronunciation. What are there? What is there in pronunciation? There are several things. Varnaha, letter, sound. Varnaha, swaraha, pitch. Matra, measurement. There are 3 matras. Udatam, Anudatam, Plutam. Himabindumma, konjam கேட்டும் கேட்காம இருந்துடுங்க. இதெல்லாம் நான் கொஞ்சம் அபத்தம் சொல்லுவேன். You don't worry. Right? ஆர்ஷ பிரயோகம். Right? அவரே சொல்லிட்டார் பாகவதத்துல, தத் வாக் விசர்க ஜனதாகவ விப்ளவ யஸ்மின் பிரதி ஸ்லோகம் அபத்தம் அபி, even if it is not bound by any rule and grammar, sadavaha grunanti. Bhagavan namani anantasya yashonkitani. Namani anantasya yashonkitani. Sadavaha grunanti. They don't care about your grammar. Complete abaddam. They don't care. But they go on chanting. Vyasa gives permission for that. Right. So, Varna, Swaraha, Matra, Balam, the emphasis. Sama, that is continue. Sama is the rhythm. Santanaha, continuity. Gurudev, youngster study he gives. If you don't say properly, do not maintain harmony, do not maintain continuity, what will happen, he says? He gives 2-3 words, exactly like youngsters, this thing. Rama went to school. Is there a regular way of saying? And you don't say that, and then you say, Rama went to school. Gurudev writes, Rama went to school. You won't understand. Rama went to school. Properly you have to say. Then one more joke he gives. Azmer gaya, Saab Azmer gaya. Properly you don't say, Saab Az mar gaya. Azmer gaya. All Gurudev writes. Don't find fault with me. Right? So, the words have to be pronounced properly. There should be a continuity. There should be a continuity and all that. These are the first lessons given to the student. This can also be Upasana, but it need not be Upasana. First lessons to the student because he has entered the Gurukula. And then starts the Upasana. Sahanau Yashaha, Sahanau Brahma Varchasam, Athata Samhitayam Upanishadam Vyakyasyama Panchaswadikaraneshu Adilokam Adijyotisham Adividyam Adiprajamadhyatmam Sa Mahasamhita Ityachakshate. He says, now let us take for Upasana, because all the students are familiar with basics of literature. Sandhi, it starts with Sandhi. Actually, many of you, I think now you know the secret because Lalita herself told me once. If you know how to split the words and read, half the things you understand. If you can split properly, half the things you understand. So that's the most important thing. So here he says, now that you know Sandhis and all that, we will make that itself as Upasana. Because when you do Upasana, your mind gets disciplined, trained to bring the area of distraction to a particular focus. That mind later on can contemplate on Upanishadic truths. Suddenly you cannot do it. Therefore, he takes the Sandhis. In Sandhi, there are 4 aspects. Purva Rupam, Uttara Rupam, Sandhi, and then the instrument, the means. Ramaha Ishwaraha. Right. So, this Maha, Ishvara, Gurudev takes that word. A plus E is A in Sandhi.
Again frozen, no?
A plus U is O Sandhi A. These are all the various. Emma, who is asking something? Something you're asking?
Uncle, the video is pausing again and again, Uncle. Where one will
Okay.
Huh.
Video. Satish, great. Satish is there. Lalita is there. Oppa, more. I am seeing her after 3 years, even in the video. Rupam, Dyauttara Rupam, Akasha Sandhi. They meet with the space in between, the place of Sandhi. Right? And Vayu Sandhanam, that which connects these two is Vayu. Right? So the Sandhi rules are applied here to these elements. Why? Because he is sitting in the classroom, he is looking at the sky. You can't stop it. So his guru says, at least you try to divinize it, you try to make it a discipline, you try to restrict your areas of distraction. Then Adhadi Jyotisham, luminaries, Agni Purva Rupam, Aditya Uttara Rupam, Apasandhihi, Vaidyuta Sandhanam, Vaidyuta lightning. In between fire and sun, there is moisture. Through the moisture, lightning comes. Ityadi Jyotisham, this is the meditation concerning the luminaries. Athadi Vidyam, now teaching. Acharya Purva Rupam, Antevasyuttara Rupam, Purva Rupam, teacher. The later part, student. Vidya, Sandhi, that which connects both is Vidya. Pravachanam, Sandhanam, the connecting, this thing is Pravachanam, talking. Ityadi Vidyam, Athadi Prajam. Now, the meditation is on progeny. Mata Purva Rupam, Pitottara Rupam, Praja Sandhi, that which connects the mother and father is the son. Otherwise, where is mother, where is son? That's why the modern joke, I am your mother, children say. Why? I made you the mother. I made you the mother. I made you the father. Right? Praja Sandhi, Prajanagam Sandhanam. The procreation is the means. Here, all marriages, I have told you all this in the beginning, I don't have to explain. They're all spiritual in content. If you can't live the Nivritti Marga, go through Pravritti Marga, that is the same thing in Ishavasya. First, Ishavasya Medagam Sarvam. Then, if you cannot do Kurvan Neveha Karmani. That's why from Gurukula, they straight sent to ashrams and temple, Kashi Yatra, in marriages. And if you go there, you go. They give you the first choice. But nobody goes because they are waiting for a new umbrella and new chapel. They come back. Right? Kashi Yatra, Pravritti Marga. Right? Adhyatmam, then concerning you. Adhara Hanuhu, the lower jaw. Purva Rupam, Uttara Hanuhu, Uttara Rupam, the upper jaw is the later part. Vak Sandhihi, that which connects is the speech. Jikva Sandhanam, the instrument is tongue. Itima Mahasamhita Yeva Meta Mahasamhita Vyakhyata Veda Sandhiyate Prajaya Pashubhihi Brahma Varchasena Annadyena Suvargena Lokena. These are called the great blendings, sandhis. And he who understands them, Palasruti, becomes united with progeny, food, and all that. Why Palasruti in Vedanta? So that you continue the study till you come to Brahmanandavalli. When you come to Brahmanandavalli, you don't care for all that. Till then you have to stay, So Palasrutis. And now you go on talking this. I have given you 30, 40 minutes introduction so that you know, you understand why all this. Without that, you start this. People will go to sleep. They have no interest. It's like talking on grammar. So now suddenly he brings the subject, something interesting. Yes, Chandasam Rushabho Vishwarupaha Chandobhyo Adhyamritat Sambhabhuva Samendro Medhayas Prunotu Amritasya Devadharano Bhuyasam Shariram Me Vicharshanam Jikva Me Madhumattama Karnabhyam Bhuri Vishruvam Brahmana Kosho Shimedhaya Pihataha Srutam Me Medhaya. This is a Shitam Me Gopaya. This is the prayer to invoking Upasana to Omkara. Pranava Upasana, which will come in detail later. After this thing, it will come Pranava Upasana. That I will do elaborately when I come to that. Here, he is asked to invoke the Omkara. Why? Chandasam Rushabho Vishwarupaha. Out of the Vedas, this is the best form. Rushabha means best, superior. Vishwarupaha, it has all things explained there. Manifold. Whatever you want is explained in Omkara. Just like Swami Chinmayananji Maharaj can explain Brahma Sutra or anything through BMI. So Omkara explains everything. Chendo Vyadhyamritat Sambhabhuva. This Omkara is born from the immortal Vedas. Sabe Mendro Medaya Prunotu. May that Omkara spill my intelligence. Let my intelligence be made vigorous. Amritasya Deva Dharano Bhuyasam. May I, O Deva, Deva is here. Exclamation, O Deva, Amritasya Dharano Bhuyasam, may I possess this immortal See, here, earlier, one word I didn't explain. Indra is Omkara only here. Indra is not the usual Indra. Here, Indra is anything superior is termed as Indra. Sometimes it's used for Brahman, sometimes for a king. So, Indra here, because that which illumines is called Indra. That which illumines is called Indra. Amritasya Deva Dharano Bhuyasam. May I have all the revelations in my intellect. Shariram me vicharshanam. May my body become able and active. That is, Vedanta is not for pinjar poles. You know what is pinjar pole? A cow that cannot drink it water anymore. Dugdha dohaha, jagdadrunaha. Right? Pitodakaha. It doesn't have the capacity to drink one more water, eat one more grass. Completely gone. They are sent to Pinjarpur. So Vedanta is not for Pinjarpuls. Vedanta is for able, active persons. So therefore, he prays. Shariram me vicharshanam jihva me madhumattama. Let there be sweetness in my speech, in my tongue. Satyam bruyat, priyam bruyat, hitam bruyat. Talk the truth. Because you have to talk the truth, you see somebody, don't tell him straight, you are a rogue. Priyam bruyat. You should tell it pleasantly. And because you have to say pleasantly, you should not say something which is not beneficial. Hitam bruyat. Bhagavatam adds one more word. Mitam bruyat. Limited. Satyam bruyat, priyam bruyat, hitam bruyat, mitam bruyat. And what is the science of speech, public speaking? Kishkinda Kandam, Rama introduces Hanuman to Lakshmana. All the volumes you can find in any bookstall about public speaking are finished in 5-6 verses. No point is left there. Eye contact, body language, right? Voice modulation, everything is touched there. So he says, let my words convey sweetness. Right? Brahmana koshosi medhaya pihitaha. And this Omkara is the sheath of Brahman. What is a sheath? That which covers it, that which has it inside it. The Omkara covers Brahman. Brahman is the essence of Omkara. The Brahman is the essence of Omkara. What it is, next class or the class after next, when I come to Omkara, I will deal in detail, complete detail. And then you see the psychology. He started talking about sandhis. The fellow may go to sleep. Suddenly he's talked about Omkara. Now the boy is still restless because he needs several things. His mind is wandering. So now he says, come on, let's pray to these things. Avahanti vitanvana kurvana ramatmanaha. Avahanti, bringing. Vitanvana, multiplying. Kurvana chiramatmanaha, producing. What all multiplying, what all producing, what all bringing. Vasansi mamagavascha, fine clothes and animals, cows, because that's the wealth in those days. Annapanecha sarvada, all the time food. I should not be hungry because I can't concentrate on my studies. I should have the comforts. So therefore I am praying. See, everybody prays, but you pray for the material thing. That is not encouraged. Here he prays so that he can continue his spiritual sadhana with comfort. Gurudev, if you had seen the photos, he is very tall. And the door with which he has to enter the hut, firstly it is a mud hut, is 2 feet high. He has to bend. He lived in that discomfort. When he built Sandipani, he built with all comforts, with Godrej, attached bathrooms, fans, cots. People asked why my children need not unnecessarily dissipate their energies for comforts. You understand? So therefore, you need certain basic things. Therefore, he is praying. Vasansi mamagava channapanecha sarvada tato me sriyamavaha. After that, let prosperity, or from with them prosperity come to me. Lomam sham pasubhi swaha. The animals with wool, because mostly these people are all in Himalayas, so to cover them. And then main thing he didn't forget. Amayantu brahmacharina swaha. Continuously all along. Let students come to me. Vimayantu brahmacharina swaha. Let students come to me from all directions. UK, Singapore, America, right? Pramayantu brahmacharina swaha. Let them come in large numbers. Damayantu brahmacharina swaha. Let self-controlled people come to me. Shamayantu brahmacharina swaha. Let the peaceful people come to me. Oh, 9:41. Sorry. I have already exceeded 10 minutes. I'm sorry. Om Purnamada Purnamadam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Namah. Hari Om. I'm sorry, I've overshot. But doesn't matter.